What's up everyone, welcome back to another What If video. Last time, we saw what happened at the beginning of the Android saga. Things went pretty routine, up until the point when 16, 17, and 18 were awoken. The Z-Fighters follow the androids as they hunt down Goku, and end up getting into a fight. They do a little better than originally, but still lose pretty easily. However, the tide turns once Gohan and Goten test out a new technique they learned in the afterlife, that being the fusion dance. At the end of the last part, we left off with Goten preparing to face off against the androids. Let's pick up here. The Z-Fighters are of course speechless, not knowing what happened to Gohan and Goten just now. They can sense the power of this new fighter and realize how massively powerful he is. The androids aren't really that scared because they don't sense the power of this new fighter, but they're more so confused that they saw one new kid standing there instead of two. They didn't see what happened, they just turned around when they heard some noise after the fact. They don't really care though. They just assume these two kids pulled some trick to switch out with this new kid, and it's getting annoying. Maybe we should kill this one and teach the other two a lesson. Android 17 says this as he prepares to fight, and is then kicked in the face with such a massive force that he's sent flying. Keep in mind, Goten is only in base at this point. If you saw my video breaking down the power of fusions, which I'll link at the top of this video, you'll remember that we covered the fact that fusions are at bare minimum tens of times stronger than the sum of their parts. So this one fusion dance alone is multiple times stronger than Super Saiyan Gohan and Goten combined. You'll see more of his power as we continue the fight. Shocked to see how easily the kid hit 17 like that, 18 prepares to fight as 17 gets back up and prepares himself. The twin androids begin attacking the twin fusion, who is enjoying himself with this fight. Having tried the fusion on their own before, they know that it only lasts for about 30 minutes, and less when they expel more energy, so they shouldn't waste any time here. Goten then powers up to Super Saiyan and begins to absolutely demolish 17 and 18. While 16 isn't really one to get involved in fights, he has been shown to protect his friends. And since he takes a liking to 17 and 18, I feel he'd step in here and protect the other two. Goten badly injures 17 and 18, and is about to knock the two out instead of killing them. 16's distraction allows the other two androids to escape, as 16 now faces Goten. But even 16 isn't strong enough. And Goten knows he needs to take out the other androids, so he tries to make his fight with 16 quick. Even though 16 is stronger than 17 or 18, he's only one challenger, and Goten has a relatively easy time. 16 sees no way of winning, and instead decides to blow himself up. That took a turn really quick. 16 grabs onto Goten, and the fused child is now freaking out knowing what's about to happen. The Z-Fighters run, with Goten being able to delay the blast, break free of 16's hold by ripping through his arms, and barely escaping the explosion as he flies off. He's terrified now as he sees the blast in the distance, and he's done fighting for now. He kinda took down one of the androids and defeated the two others, so he'll count this as a win. He could have killed the other two, but he didn't want to. Remember, this fusion is part Gohan, and also Goten's pretty much the same. They wouldn't be the ones to kill people, especially since the androids are partially human. And 16 was the one to kill himself, so they didn't really do anything bad here. The Z-Fighters who are in the area are amazed at this technique, seeing how effective it was in this fight. Gohan and Goten didn't even show off their full power as this fusion, and they still demolished the same androids that dispatched everyone earlier on. The androids have been scared off for now, and they need to recover, so everyone actually has some time to regroup before moving ahead. And Goku should be safe for now, so maybe it would be a good idea to train. This gives an idea to a few characters. One is Piccolo, who never ended up fusing with Nail in this timeline. But Kami's been watching, and after seeing the power of this fusion, he sends a telepathic message to Piccolo. Remembering that his father and Kami were fused a long time ago into one stronger being, Piccolo now realized what Kami's getting at. If the fusion for Gohan and Goten was that powerful, maybe it would be the same for Piccolo if he merged with Kami once again. Because while the fusion dance for Gohan and Goten only lasts for 30 minutes, the fusion of Piccolo and Kami would end up lasting forever. Piccolo needs to think this over, but he decides to visit Kami anyways and talk with him, much to Kami's delight. As for the rest of the group, Trunks suggests to Vegeta that they should learn fusion, but Vegeta obviously turns it down. Krillin would like to, but his height isn't similar to anyone except for Gohan and Goten, and he wouldn't be able to fuse with anyone else. But during this brief training period, Tien was actually influenced by seeing Gohan and Goten fuse, and he mentioned it to Yamcha once they got back to Goku's house, seeing if he could be a potential fusion partner if they ended up learning it. Tien actually asked Gohan and Goten about it, and instead of training normally to power up during these brief few days, Tien and Yamcha instead try to learn the fusion dance for themselves. As for Piccolo, he does end up finding out about Namekian fusion, and Kami mentions how much stronger he can get from it, at the cost of them being merged permanently and not having Dragon Balls. It's a lot to think about, but Piccolo doesn't go through with it just yet. He wants to make sure the Dragon Balls are still here just in case they need them after fighting the androids, and once peace is assured, then he'll probably merge with Kami. As for the androids, they're actually hiding out for now, trying to recover after that fight. What was that kid they fought? Where's 16 at? Where's Goku? They have a lot on their mind, but instead of making themselves known, they decide to head out until they're feeling better. While 16 is dead, there's still one more android lurking about. Cell, of course, is here again, and since I don't like to alter the extra timelines in these videos, much like Future Trunks, I'm going to keep Cell's timeline pretty much the same. That means Cell still has the DNA of Frieza and King Cold, despite them not visiting Earth in this timeline for this scenario. So this is pretty much the same Cell we see in canon. He's searching for the androids but is having no luck, and eventually encounters Piccolo, with a brief dispute going pretty much like normal, except Piccolo's not really able to defend himself as well. Seeing how powerful this guy is, Piccolo doesn't even try to face off against him and he just leaves, barely escaping with his life. Realizing that this guy was the work of Dr. Gero, he and the group decide to do some digging at Gero's lab and find the present version of Cell and the blueprint for the androids, so they end up destroying the lab, and around this time, Goku ends up waking up, since some more time has passed. Having updated him on what happened, he's proud of his sons being able to use this new way of fighting, but also concerned since the group has a few potential threats lurking about. The group ends up searching around in groups, and after some time, Piccolo, Tien, and Yamcha are the ones to run into Cell. They alert everyone else by raising their ki, and everyone is on the move. They won't let Cell escape this time. Piccolo powers up further as Tien and Yamcha break out the fusion dance which they learned from Gohan and Goten, and are surprised at how well it works. Piccolo is able to serve as a brief distraction for Cell, in order for Tien and Yamcha to perform the dance. When he's about to attack Piccolo, Cell then turns around and he sees what's happened with Tien and Yamcha. There's not two of them standing there, but one. He doesn't have any data on this fighter, but then he realizes what happened. They merged. The resulting fusion is Tiencha, one that I'm sure a lot of you have heard about from the video games. Tiencha is actually quite strong. Obviously he's nowhere near the level of Goten, but I would place him above any other individual fighter, and below base Goten. Alongside Piccolo, Tiencha attacks Cell, and they both remain wary of Cell's tail, as well as the fusion time limit. They're actually winning against Cell, and the arc takes a turn here once Tiencha uses his full power and fires a Shin Kikoho. In the original story, this move from Tien was briefly able to hold back a semi-perfect Cell, but it didn't really do any damage, it basically just paralyzed him. And in this story, not only is Tien stronger, but he's fused with the Yamcha, who's also stronger as well, and they get the fusion boost on top of that. And if that's not enough, they're not even fighting semi-perfect Cell, they're up against imperfect Cell. After firing a few beams, Tiencha is exhausted and actually ends up defusing, but surprisingly, they try to search for Cell's ki or any trace of him, and there's no trace of him left at all. They actually ended up killing Cell. Even with his regeneration, the power of multiple attacks like that completely destroyed the android. As soon as the rest of the fighters arrive, they're greeted with Piccolo, Tien, and Yamcha, all worn out, but celebrating as they actually killed Cell together. The three of them give a thumbs up and smile towards the group, with everyone laughing in celebration. That's great, but the androids are still lurking somewhere. No one knows where they are, but the androids won't actually be a problem at all. Maybe they won't even have to kill the two androids. It doesn't really feel right to do that because they are part human still. And judging by the plans from Dr. Gero and what they found in his lab, they weren't made androids willingly. They were basically made as slaves for Gero and used really as test subjects in order to kill Goku. And since 19, 20, Cell, and 16 are all gone, 17 and 18 don't really pose a threat either in terms of power. Cell was the strongest one they encountered, and if they're able to kill him, then they could definitely handle 17 and 18 if they need to. Maybe they can extend an olive branch and have the androids surrender and possibly help them turn to their side. They are still human after all. So with Cell defeated now, the rest of the Z Fighters now have to go out and find the androids. If they have to defeat them, then so be it. But they need to find them first, they don't know where the androids are hiding out now. As for the androids themselves, they're actually closer than the Z Fighters know. They've been trying to observe what's been going on, and seeing if they could find any ways to defeat the group. They're intimidated at the fact that this other android, Cell, appeared, and they couldn't sense his power, but they could tell that he was actually really strong, and the fact that they were able to kill Cell was really worrying for the two androids. However, the two of them aren't out of the fight yet. They keep observing, and they're planning to strike back, attempting to find out any ways to defeat this group. They'll enact their revenge eventually. Even if Cell's gone, these two remain as the new threat, but we'll save what they do for the next part. So what did you guys think of this video? And what might happen in the next part? What will 17 and 18 end up doing in the next part to actually defeat the Z Fighters? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. And as always, remember to drop a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications about any future parts of this What If or any other videos that I make on this channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.